1v1 on Road to Kharkov. This game is Crypticz versus Please Call Me Dad. U.S. forces in the north versus Please Call Me Dad's OKW in the south. Pretty sure this is his main faction, if I remember correctly. Crypticz I know less about. I don't know if he's more of a U.S. player or not. But Crypticz has the bad spawn on a map that heavily favors OKW in a bad matchup, so he basically could not be in a worse I can't even think of a worse matchup than US forces versus OKW, US in the north. I think Crypticz basically lost on the loading screen unless he plays extremely well. We'll see what happens. Horrible first engagement already. Nice ambush by those Stern Pioneers. Massive burst of damage. Forces an early retreat. And it looks like the OKW may be able to secure control of this cutoff because of that bad first engagement if support arrives, but support's not on the way. Not actually that aggressive of an opening. Just going to do some backcapping with Volksgrenadiers. He's clearly inflicting as much damage here with the Stern Pios as he can. He's not utilizing his truck to push his opponent's infantry though, so there's only so much he can do. Now that his opponent is aware of that Stern Pio squad's position, he's going to manage it a lot more carefully. Still taking a pretty decent amount of damage on that squad. Stern Pioneer is about to drop one model. Once this squad makes it back to the front line, it should be sufficient, especially at this range, to force them away. Volksgrenadiers in the meantime have taken control of the entire south, and this battle group headquarters is going up on the cutoff, and it should be able to complete since the American player is still being a little hesitant to engage over here and has to clean up some of these troops. However, by securing control of this building, Stern Pioneers will be forced to die. They shouldn't have done that. Should have just vaulted that wall before retreating. That was a horrible retreat! Wow, he is so lucky that they just got away. He definitely needed to vault that wall before he retreated. Either way, they get away. Battle group headquarters completed and forward retreat points being unlocked now, which is a pretty common purchase after the third Volksgrenadier squad. And he should be able to force away these riflemen now that he's got a green cover position up. The riflemen are already heavily wounded from Stern Pioneer engagements earlier. And he'll be able to secure control of his cutoff just fine. Meanwhile, an ambulance has been fielded here by the American player, and he's already chosen recon support. Please Call Me Dad has access to scavenge, fortifications, and spec ops. Hasn't chosen any of them yet, though. These two squads need to make their way back towards the battle group headquarters. Retreat points unlocked, and he will throw it up. And the American player has been pushed back a little bit, just going to get some territory back under control here in the north and do some healing by his ambulance before making his next push, which probably won't be able to succeed. Only 3 squads of riflemen and rear echelons against 3 Volksgrenadiers. And Stern Pios on a battle group headquarters is not really a winnable engagement. He's going to need to field something a little meatier. Captain is in production here.
A capture point is under attack.
And squads are going to get reinforced by the battle group headquarters. Just doing light harassment with these riflemen for now. Hasn't actually lost any models, so he's getting pretty good manpower bleed. If he pulls back to heal again, largely keeping his opponent contained. He's got him triple capped as well. If he can keep up the pressure in this area, that would definitely be good. Heals back off cooldown on his ambulance, so he should probably pop that on those wounded riflemen. They're actually going to move towards the central VP, though. Actually not sure where he's going. Captain has completed. The fact that he went captain tier makes me think he's going for a pack howitzer to bombard that battle group headquarters from a distance, which we've seen be successful in the past. Throwing up a fuel cache here as well. Not entirely sure what he's going to do though.
Fuel stores complete.
He has healed his riflemen and they're making back up into the green cover position here.
Pathfinders on station and ready for action. The capture point is being overrun.
God damn it! Someone get us out of here! Hit 'em with crossfire! Bust out the metal, boys!
Pretty big push coming from the American player here. This flank by this really wide flank by this rifle squad is tying up two Volksgrenadiers here in the south. Riflemen make their way forward here into oddly close range though. He's clumping around the edge of this truck, which is a rather dangerous thing to do, and his captain takes a huge burst of damage from Stern Pioneers, must retreat around the corner. For some reason he's prioritizing this SWS over his opponent's infantry. I don't think he's going to be able to destroy it though. Maybe one more anti-tank rifle grenade could. If he doesn't destroy that, then this push will have accomplished nothing.
Ready for battle. Area is out.
Hold the goddamn orders!
Last flanking squad of riflemen could definitely destroy this. He's trying to do it with small arms fire. I think he'll get it. Come on, riflemen. Okay, he went with the AT grenade, but it cost him a full rifle squad. Not sure I think that was worth it. Maybe. He's gone with the Greyhound, so he's denied his opponent the ability to go tier 4. And if he can get some squad wipes with that Greyhound to equalize the manpower game, he'll still be at a pretty big advantage since he's managed to keep his opponent contained for territory quite well. Comes the canister round, no squad wipe, nothing too bad, 5 kills, just a little manpower bleed. Should be able to reinforce that easily enough, and the Greyhound is forced away by that screening Panzerschreck squad. AT gun making its way to the front line, but without screening infantry, he needs to get that to safety right now. What's that thing doing?
Get that in there!
We're losing a capture point.
If he loses that AT gun, that'd be a huge problem.
Reinforcements in. Welcome to the death factory.
He really does not want his Greyhound to be shot by an American AT gun. This is a huge loss.
Germans attacking our position! Continue with rocket fire!
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points. We lost a gun crew.
That was just sloppy. He definitely should not have let that happen. Fortunately, riflemen are arriving to try to remedy the situation a little bit. Grenade in the road is a little off target. He was hoping they would blob right into it. Greyhound making its way to the front line. Wants to apply pressure, but there is Kettenwerfer here, so it has to be a little bit careful. Whoa! What? That bazooka shot! That bazooka just killed 4 Volksgrenadiers, I think. Did you see that? What was that? That was the most ridiculous bazooka I think I've ever seen. I don't think I've ever seen one that do that much damage.
Taking fire. Get the gun on it.
Wow.
Complete. Veterancy promotion.
Another canister round flubs over here. Does not wipe this squad. He's getting pretty lucky with that Greyhound not wiping anything of his, but I guess the captain's bazooka is picking up the slack, apparently.
What the hell am I meant to do with these recruits?
And
Green as green can be.
vehicle crew is going to take control of this victory point. The clock's currently stopped since Please Call Me Dad has managed to get control of this left side victory point, slowing the VP bleed. And his next SWS half-track will be arriving pretty soon. And Crypticz Z doesn't actually have that much fuel. Oh, because his Major is in production. Major in production here. And once that's done, he's probably going to go straight into a Sherman. There it is, finally. Starts getting those squad wipes with that Greyhound. OKW player definitely needs to wrap that
All done
Wrap that Greyhound
Battalion
up
just
somehow.
released the major for action.
His current AT solutions are only one Panzerschreck and a Raketenwerfer. Doesn't have that much munitions to get a further Panzerschreck.
Contact! Small arms fire!
So he's probably wishing he had a safe haven of a Tier 4 structure by his battle group headquarters to protect him. Since he doesn't,
We need the flag! Enemy movement! On the flank!
that Greyhound can pretty much just bully all of these squads off the field. They have to retreat immediately upon seeing it just to maybe survive. Okay, that canister round didn't do anything though.
Unit being wiped out.
Just 50 munitions just does nothing.
They're flanking us. Swing guns.
Oh no, what is this maneuver by this Greyhound? That's terrible! Wow, I thought that Raketenwerfer was gonna get a second shot off for sure. That was close.
Lousy patch.
That Greyhound is lucky to be alive.
Ground's ours. Now spread out.
Jagdpanzer in production by Please Call Me Dad. Pretty good choice, honestly. Well, maybe. Yeah, probably. He knows Sherman's going to be getting here pretty soon. He's a little late to throw up his Tier 4 structure. Getting himself a Jagdpanzer now will give him a nice, early, powerful anti-tank solution for not only the Greyhound, but all American tanks, really. And on this map in particular, it performs extremely well. So his main concern will simply be defending its flank with the Raketenwerfer and Panzerschreck, and that should be more than enough.
Flanking attack!
We now stand at 300 points.
Enemy armor! Take cover! Do not get me! Infantry attacking!
Canister round doesn't quite seal the deal again. Oh, Rifleman finished the job.
Lost.
Raketenwerfer and Jagdpanzer shot miss, I think, and the Greyhound will get to safety. Dead Sturm Pioneers is a serious problem. That leaves him with no way to repair this, so he has pretty much no choice but to spend 320 manpower on that new Sturm Pioneer squad. His army is still really small. Really small, but he should be able to hold the line. The American player's army isn't exactly huge either, since I believe he's floating for the Paradrop Combat Group. Once this hits the field, the Oberkommando West player is going to have to deal with a huge army of American infantry, plus the Greyhound, plus potentially a tank. If he goes with the Sherman now, it's going to delay his airdrop combat group, and he has done that. So he's got to wait for another 400 manpower before he can call that in. But in conjunction with the Sherman is going to be a lot of forces for the Oberkommando West to contend with, because he's taken so many squad wipes from bazookas and the canister rounds. Here comes a bit of a preliminary push by the American, trying to apply pressure now. Again, Sturm Pioneers just now hitting the field, no way to repair. AT gun and bazookas applying pressure to the battle group headquarters, threatening to destroy it. A Tier 4 structure is going up behind the lines while this is happening. The American player had to pull back a little bit, so he does not have vision on the battle group headquarters right now. Volksgrenadiers are doing the very best they can to screen, while a machine gun defends the left flank. Major moving up to establish a retreat point, I think, with ambulance support, and the Greyhound is not moving to support in this engagement because it needs to stay clear of that Jagdpanzer, and it looks like Tier 4 structure will complete, but it also looks like this battle group headquarters is going to be destroyed unless he can pull off some sort of miracle screening maneuver against that AT gun, but I don't know what it would be. No chance of saving that. Artillery being called in by the Major here as well, for some reason. That would have probably finished this off if it weren't already destroyed, but it's kind of irrelevant. Sherman on the field now, moving in on the Jagdpanzer. There is 2 Panzerschrecks and a Raketenwerfer available to protect its flank, though. Falling dangerously low. Nice crush maneuver. He's going to have to retreat that squad, but the Jagdpanzer and Raketenwerfer will destroy the Sherman. So despite the fact that he lost that battle group headquarters, he's got a Tier 4 structure up to protect the left side VP. His Jagdpanzer's alive and he's taken out one Sherman, and apparently the American lost a lot of infantry during that. Not a lot, but one of his two rifle squads did get wiped on retreat. So he doesn't have a whole lot of forces left, and he's been floating manpower like crazy so that he can field this airdropped combat group somewhere. There it is.
Howitzers have pinpointed the enemy and are
And he gets a pretty good collection of weapons. The bazookas will be effective against the Jagdpanzer if they can get behind it. And the LMG, of course, is great on Road to Kharkov, so I think that's a pretty good drop. Better than if he got Thompsons. Thompsons, I really don't think would help him that much here. Maybe, depending on how he uses them. The LMG squad will be easier to use though. Obersoldaten being fielded out of the Tier 4 structure now. And if he wants to be able to reinforce in the field, he's going to have no choice but to purchase himself a new battle group headquarters. Otherwise, all of his retreats are going to be very painful, forcing him off the field for a long time. And his victory point control has been awful. 200 points behind now. Or 300 points behind. And doesn't really show much signs of being able to hold on to this left point with anything other than his Tier 4. LMGs will force a retreat from an already heavily damaged machine gun, maybe wiping it. Yep. Paratroopers will not be able to take the VP thanks to the Tier 4 structure, but they will steal the MG-34. Maybe Sturm Pioneers trying to prevent this. Oh no, that grenade could be devastating. Oh, and the Sturm Pioneer squad gets wiped by that one carbine guy. He took one shot, and that was all he needed, apparently, because paratroopers are fucking awesome. Oh no! Ambulance is in a little danger here. Grenade going onto the major. Whoa! I didn't even see that cooked grenade, and another squad gets wiped. Too aggressive, too aggressive. He really wants to trade something. Tries to get this ambulance. I think he's gonna get it. He's kind of stuck on the point a little bit. Okay, well at least he got an ambulance, but he's down to only a Volksgrenadier and Obersoldaten squad and a Raketenwerfer. And his Jagdpanzer, plus he's lost his battle group headquarters. These losses are really stacking up. I don't know if the Overcommando West player is going to be able to hold. Rifleman taking control of the victory point over there. And the clock's going to start ticking against the OKW once again. Booby trap going down on the left side, probably a good idea. He needs to get some kind of squad wide potential going to level the playing field. And all of the OKW players' units are being fielded to the left side just to try and prolong the game. Not even thinking about maybe taking control of another victory point right now. And a Scot just made its way onto the field, and that's pretty scary, honestly. If that thing gets a lucky shot and wipes the squad, things are just going to get worse. AT gun has been fielded up the left side to try to get rid of this Tier 4 structure and completely push the OKW off the field. If this structure falls, I think we could be seeing the end of the game. But the Scot does need to be careful of the Jagdpanzer. If the Jagdpanzer lands 2 shots on it, it will be destroyed. So AT gun is slightly in range of the Tier 4 structure. Sacrifices 3 lives just to be able to pick that up. I like how that retreating squad has a Thompson apparently now. They recruit that AT gun, and then when forced away from it, they magically had a Thompson. Scott bombarding the area. He needs to spread out. That is a dangerous looking little clump right there. No lucky hits yet though. AT gun will start bombarding the structure. Getting some good hits. It just hit Vet 1. If he activates take aim, he'll have no problem providing vision. Scott bombarding it as well. He really needs to screen this attack away. Obersoldaten moving up to do so should be able to clear that AT gun. There it goes. Loses the Vet bonus. Loses vision. Since the ambulance has been destroyed, he cannot reinforce here. He's having trouble keeping that AT gun crewed. He's brought the structure down to half, but these Obers are doing an excellent job of screening against that AT gun, and the stolen MG34 will force them to make a full retreat while the battle group headquarters is still in construction over here. He's managed to collect enough manpower to throw up a retreat point though, and I think major artillery just got called in on this structure, but that's not going to be enough to destroy it, I don't think. He is Vet 2, so it'll drop 5 shells. I don't know, this could actually be pretty close. I don't know, this might get it. 2 more shells could get the job done. Oh, that one was off target. Oh, the last 2 were way off target. That was close. That could have done. He didn't really center the barrage on the truck because he didn't have vision. But that was close to the best usage of major artillery I've ever seen. Although it's too bad he didn't field INR Pathfinders. Because that barrage would definitely have gotten the job done for only 20 munitions more. The Jagdpanzer wants to destroy that Scott. I think it's going to be able to. Probably going to take out the ambulance as well. It's got to get closer for vision, but there's nothing in the area to threaten this Jagdpanzer at all. There it goes. Grabs the ambulance as well. Be a pretty good engagement for him. He's just going to let that go. Guess he doesn't want to take any risks, not even from bazooka paratroopers. No retreat point, by the way, on this battle group headquarters, so he's just going to have to soft retreat if things start going south. Most American infantry is healed and made its way back out of the base. Ambulance did not get destroyed, so he can reinforce right here. He still has victory point control. 100 points left for the Oberkommando West. And Sturm Pioneers finally make it to the field. You can see how desperate Please Call Me Dad is for manpower. He's got to spend 200 on this thing, 300 on these. Oh no! Scott bombarding! That has to get screened away immediately. Jagdpanzer moving up to do so now. That was close. And another 300 manpower if he wants to make the retreat point unlock, which just goes to show how incredibly important it is that he not lose full squads. No! Oh no! Oh no, that is the worst thing that could have possibly happened. Full squad of Obersoldaten gets laser beamed to death by that LMG paratrooper squad, and he just handed an even more powerful laser beam over to his opponent. He will recover it with those riflemen. They'll retreat back to the major retreat point just to be safe. And the game just got 10 times harder. For Please Call Me Dad. Nice flank though. Somehow finds room to be aggressive despite pressure on his forward position and takes out another ambulance. Trying to equalize the manpower game. He's doing a good job taking out that ambulance though with that Volksgrenadier flank. He will, however, be forced to make a full retreat since he does not have access to the retreat point yet. And the American player still has total victory point control. 400 points in the lead almost. Yeah, and Oberkommando West has a long way to go if he's going to win this game. Losing that MG34, losing that Ober squad is a huge loss. A huge loss. Thanks in part to a lucky hit by this Scott, I think. So even though it only has 1 kill, it is responsible for netting that MG34, which is a huge gain. Trying to do some harassment of VPs over here on the right side. That Ober squad should do fine against this captain. LMG paratroopers, however, will pose a slightly more significant problem. Scott moving up to try and take a shot. Nice opening hit right there. Ooh, that was close. That was very close. Grenade being tossed to turn the engagement. Will force retreat from that squad. Bazooka squad will probably not be able to win against these Volksgrenadiers alone. Scott moves up to re-engage. No lucky hits yet, though. This wounded Volksgrenadier squad needs to be very careful. They retreat preemptively to avoid the wipe. This squad should probably spread out a little bit, clumping around the VP. There they go. Pretty good spread. They're not happy. He doesn't even want to risk it. He doesn't like it. He says, no more bullshit squad wipes. I'm getting out of here. I'm not engaging under Scott fire. I don't care. Squads reinforcing here in the headquarters because they were actually closer to the HQ than the battle group HQ. Does this building actually have a name? Command headquarters, okay. Closer to the command headquarters than to the battle group headquarters. I wonder what that is in German. Kampfgruppe, maybe?
Stand ready, Kameraden.
Fresh Obers being deployed to try to combat these Ober rifles that also have extra vision in cover, making them rather scary. American player has apparently just given up on assaulting this position. He's just gonna ride out the clock until the end of the game. Probably not the greatest idea. Commando West Army does get pretty scary at this point in the game, but with only 75 points remaining, I don't know if that's gonna work out in his favor. Please Call Me Dad is mobilizing his troops to make a push in this area to try and secure control of the central victory point. Without the MG-34 riflemen being able to engage, Captain and paratroopers should get forced away. So grenades get dodged. Well, one grenade gets dodged. Bazooka paratroopers take a really nasty bundle grenade right there. They will be able to retreat to safety, however. Meanwhile, oh no! Overs walked up into the MG-34 riflemen and got blasted so hard. They were immediately forced off the field. Scott's taking shots at a clump of infantry, but the Jagdpanzer is here to screen. It's going to be forced to back off. And I think that this LMG squad of riflemen will be forced to retreat by superior numbers here. He retreats it a little early to make sure he doesn't lose the full squad. Also, there's a Jackson here, apparently. Doesn't really have much of a job other than to combat the Jagdpanzer, but the Jagdpanzer can easily beat the Jackson in a slugfest. Jackson's shot bounces, and that's exactly why, because of the Jagdpanzer's excellent frontal armor. I don't think a Jagdpanzer shot even can bounce on a Jackson. Not monitoring his captain, and he gets sniped by a Panzerschreck. Stolen MG-34 moving up to screen on the VP. Scott being able to bombard from behind this shed. Getting a little too close to that Jagdpanzer's line of fire. Needs to make sure to stay behind that shed. Jagdpanzer moving up to fire on that Scott. Not really anything available here to punish it for that. Bazookas are making their way back to the front lines. Oh, this squad has a bazooka, apparently. Okay. More bazookas moving up. Should be able to push away that Jagdpanzer.
Enemy flanking us! Go for their fucking feet! Full strength!
Enemy movement! On the flank!
Consolidate our forces. We are down to 50 points.
Only 50 points now remain for Please Call Me Dad, and while he has 300 fuel, he doesn't have that much of a way to spend it right now. He hasn't made a mechanized regiment headquarters. If he drops the manpower to do so, he would then have to float another 700 to make a King Tiger. So, manpower is his main concern, and he has very limited time with which to orchestrate his comeback here. Jagdpanzer fires on the Sherman. American player is getting pushed off the central point, having trouble fielding his forces in a meaningful way. He's got 3 tanks. Should be able to do some pretty decent damage. Scott gets a nice hit on that Volksgrenadier squad. Fresh Volksgrenadiers being deployed now to the right point. Scott has enough health to survive 1 hit from a Jagdpanzer, but it's not getting aggressive. It's also utilizing camouflage there on the center point. Volksgrenadiers trying to spread out so that they can survive. That's Scott's barrage.
Flanking attack! Contact! Infantry!
Major drops artillery on that Raketenwerfer, I guess, and then gets annihilated by those ogres like so fast. Nice positioning on the Jagdpanzer again for this push. Jackson shot does penetrate. Ooh, long shot by the Jagdpanzer makes it through though. Yeah, and the Jackson will be 1 hit from death. Sherman taking advantage of an opening on these infantry. Wants to get a squad wipe. If he can nail those overs, that would be a big victory. Ooh. Couldn't make it happen. The Jagdpanzer screening will force him away. Oh, Raketenwerfer shot brings him so close. Meanwhile, the overs in this green cover position are just really all he needs to defend that victory point until a Scott convinces him to retreat. Well, I almost feel like that, even though they were so close to being wounded, being dead, they probably could have wiped that MG and done significant damage to these paratroopers before going down. But obviously he can't afford to lose that squad. He has a lot of victory points to work through before he can come back into this game. American players kind of panicking a little bit, I think. He's only got 44 points left on the board that he has to defend. If he can just execute really well with all of his tanks, he should be fine. He hasn't lost any of his vehicles yet. Sherman's still up. Jackson's still up. And he just fielded himself a Greyhound. Interesting purchase here in the late game. I think he wants to try and utilize that to wipe some ogres if he can find an opportunity. He's got to be very careful with it though. He does have a lot of munitions, and I'm really surprised not to see any INR Pathfinders utilizing artillery to turn the game back in his favor. Would also be an option, and it has been an option available to him for pretty much the whole game. Canister round on a really spread out squad does not connect very well. Grenade going in on some ogres. Doesn't do much. Looks like that squad's gonna get wiped. And a Raketenwerfer just took it down to Scott. That was a Vet 2 Scott, and he just lost it to a Raketenwerfer. Oh, that's terrible. The Jagdpanzer didn't even participate in that engagement. This is all going wrong.
Enemy movement! On the flank!
Nice blocking maneuver by that Sherman. Oh, the shot's off target though. Now he will disengage. Huge opportunity over here on the Jagdpanzer, but since it's camouflaged, he doesn't have vision, he doesn't realize how vulnerable that is over there. Oversoldaten get away by a hair again. Victory point clock is stopped. Only 38 points remain for the Overcommando West, and both of those Volksgrenadiers retreat. Oh, that Greyhound shot hit a mine. Hit a shoe mine, detonating on those Volksgrenadiers. Ooh. I really feel like Please Call Me Dad has gotten the worst imaginable end of RNG this game. I can't believe he's still in it. I can't believe how unlucky he has been this game. I've lost count of like how many bad RNG moments he's had. So even though this matchup is horribly in Cryptic's favor, the RNG has gone his way every single time. Kind of ironically balancing the game out. Sherman's making a suicidal maneuver right there. Should not have done that. Dove right into a Jagdpanzer. He now has no choice but to try to circle strafe this Jagdpanzer to death, but there's not much chance of that happening. And there's also a Panther on the field now. Didn't even try to go for King Tiger because he didn't want to build the mechanized regiment headquarters. And there goes the Jackson. Paratroopers moving up on the flank, try to get some good bazooka hits, but with the smoke screen, I don't know if they're going to be able to. They're not even firing. And there's the Panther. Even if they destroy this, it wouldn't, I don't think, make that big of a difference. He's going to try, though. He is going to try. Bazookas miss. Okay. Finally, please call me Dad gets a little bit of a lucky break. Ooh. And a canister round does not connect over here on the right side, and a Greyhound is destroyed. 24 points remaining for Please Call Me Dad, but he does manage to stop the clock over here, and the American player is reduced to only 2 squads of infantry right now with which to contend with a huge Overcommando West Army. And he knows that he can't win this. He got so many lucky breaks. I think the biggest reason Crypticz lost is he had a great push on the battle group headquarters, but he couldn't execute the same thing on the tier 4 structure. And it's very hard to assault one of these without vision. To provide yourself vision, you need to utilize pathfinders or even the forward sight ability of riflemen. It was in a very vulnerable location. He did move an AT gun up to try and finish the job, but he just couldn't finish it off. So close. So close. Miracle comeback by Please Call Me Dad that would have gotten shut down hard by one usage of Pathfinder artillery on this structure easily, with hands down. So I think that's the biggest mistake Crypticz made. Other than that, pretty unlucky game for Please Call Me Dad. That was a huge bazooka hit on that that Volksgrenadier squad. That I am almost certain that is the biggest bazooka hit I've ever seen. So good game. Axis wins.